school safety agents. And we are going to be talking about the wonderful career opportunity of being a school safety agent. Before we get started, I'd like to give Ms. Simpkins and Mr. Wise 2 minutes to introduce themselves, their background, tell us a little bit about who they are, and then we'll get started with the workshop. We'll start first with Ms. Simpkins.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. How are you? School safety agent. I've been a school safety agent for going on 16 years. I've been in elementary schools. I've been in conjunction pre-K through 8. I've been in high school, Impact High School. I've also been in District 75, which services children with special needs. I've also done District 79, which is alternative sites for alternative education. I'm a mother. I'm also a veteran. I'm also a miracle maker. I'm a whole lot of things wrapped up into one. I'm a fighter and I'm a rebel. And I'm here with my partner, Harold Wise, to basically, talk about this opportunity, this career opportunity, this job that we do that's now currently looking for people to fill slots and, tell people basically what this job entails, what this job is about, what the impact that this job has on the school community as well as the whole entire community, and what the benefits and the qualifications and all the different aspects are that it takes to keep and maintain this job. So I'm happy to be here. Hello.
Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. And Mr. Wise, if you could please introduce yourself.
Yes, hello, my name is Harold Wise. I've been on the job for close to 20 years. I started out in the Bronx. I've worked in, like Ms. Simpkins, I've worked in every part from PS schools to high schools to District 75. I've transferred over to Staten Island for like the last few years, working in outreach. I also run an Explorers program, and I run a after-school program on my own called Be Yourself. That's a mentoring program in 2 different high schools out on Staten Island. And maybe down the road, I'll see if we could get it spread out to different commands, because it's ran through with the school safety agents that's doing the mentoring for the students. So like Ms. Simpkins said, we're here to educate and tell people what they have to look forward to when coming into school safety.
Thank you, Mr. Wise and Ms. Simpkins. So, I want to get right into it. So many of you know the NYC School Safety Coalition was founded a few months ago in response to the false, misleading attacks on our school safety agents who keep our children safe every day. And one of the biggest misleading statements that I just call an outright lie is the fact that school safety agents are police in our schools. School safety agents are civil servants. And that's what brings us here to today's workshop, because school safety, which is under the purview of the NYPD, is hiring. And Ms. Simpkins and Mr. Wise are going to explain to you the process to become a school safety agent. And it includes a civil service exam. School safety agents are civil servants the same way that our school crossing guards are civil servants. So we're going to jump right into it and give the floor to Ms. Simpkins and to Mr. Wise to start to share with us more information about the application process, the salary information, and other details when it comes to being a school safety agent. So, Ms. Simpkins, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. So the process basically starts with you taking the school safety exam, which the filing date will be closing tomorrow. It's the last day to, file to take the exam. Not exactly sure what date the exam will be given, but it starts with the exam. Take the exam, pass the exam, you now become on a waiting list. They give you a list and an exam number. And, I guess as they start to hire and they get to your list and exam number, they'll call you and give you prompts from there. Basically, you're going to be waiting for words from the CAD, which is the candidate applicant division. They'll be giving you your prompts and telling you where you go and where you move from there. And the process entails a lot of different things. So it basically, you go through screening. The screening entails this parts from you have to be 21 years old or older. That's number one, first and foremost. You have to have at least a GED or a high school diploma. You must pass a drug screening. You must meet medical and psychological requirements. You must live in the 5 boroughs or the surrounding counties of New York City. You must be a citizen and can obtain special patrol status and keep that status throughout your employment. That's the first course of action as it pertains to getting into the gist of this job and starting your career path with school safety.
And when she's talking about you must pass the background check, they do a very, very thorough background check. When I first got on, it like bugged me out how far back and how deep they asked you about fights you had in junior high school. I was like, are you serious? And but they were very thorough. So going back to what you said about us being civil servants and things like that, we're highly scrutinized to get this job. You just can't walk in off the street and have felonies and stuff like. No, they do a very thorough background check. They're going to look into everything that you are involved in and make sure that they're just not having the wrong people go into schools and work with our kids.
And to put more onto what Harold said, it's not just you they're doing a background check on. They're also doing a background check on members of your household, people who reside with you, members of your family, to see what they're involved in, what they have done. They go back about 10 years. And if you were a juvenile and you had any type of sealed records, they want you to go and get those records released because they want to know what offenses that you had, even as a juvenile. So it's your whole entire family unit and your household who are being investigated when you're being investigated to get this job. So yes, you can't just be Joe Schmo from off the street. You have to they have to know everything there is to know about you, your character, and they ask you for certain things that you'll be surprised that will come up. They will want you to get character references from your neighbors, people who live in your neighborhood, to give character references as to you as a person, to who you are. So it's an extensive, very extensive background check. Very.
And then, as Ms. Simpkins was saying, you go after you go through the background check and you go through all this. Now you're going to the academy. And when you're in the academy, you're in the academy for 17 weeks. And during those 17 weeks, you go through extensive training. You report writing, CPR, different courseworks, conflict resolution. You learn how to work with children in crisis.
Mm-hmm.
You get hands on with a little of everything dealing within the schools. So we get extensive training, and my favorite part, believe it or not, it wasn't for a lot of people, but my favorite part was the gym, because they work you out. Because when you're in the schools, you're busy. Depending on what school you're in, kids get in conflict and you have to respond. So you have to be able to go back and forth and respond to your co-workers, and if they need help containing a situation, you have to be in that physical condition to assist them. You got to be in that physical condition to assist the students if they're having an altercation, or if they're having a child in crisis problem at that moment. You have to be able to respond and be there. So they make sure for that 17 weeks, you work out, you take care of yourself, you're physically fit. By the time you get out of there, trust me, you're in very good shape.
Mm-hmm.
So I missed that part, but that was my thing.
Yeah. So
17 weeks is very, very intensive. That's seriously thorough training that school safety agents have to undergo. Um, can you tell us a little bit more about the additional training, conflict resolution, um, uh, security protocol training, such as like lockdowns, and then also training such as implicit bias training and dealing with children who may be in crisis?
all right.
Yeah.
Well, so basically the coursework is it's a series of lessons. When I was there, we had about 36 different lessons, and those lessons were, basically different types of report writing and investigations, procedural law, effectively dealing with school-based issues, which are all the issues that arise in a school. There's, child in crisis, people in crisis, people in emotional crisis, mental crisis, mediation tactic, crisis intervention. You also learn general response protocol, which are your shelter ins, your lockdowns, your evacuation drills. We also have first aid triage training, which I always talk about, which is very important. AED, which is automated defibrillator, defibrillator, external defibrillation, CPR, dealing with that, cardiopulmonary resuscitation. Also, there's I want to talk about, there's different things that they have. So there's counterterrorism that people don't talk about, that school safety training we do get with counterterrorism, that talks about the different levels of, threats when the threats arise. Because during 9/11, school safety was very intricate and, dealing with the situation, because when it happened, it was during the school day. It was during the day, the school day. And no one talks about, the heroes of school safety who were a part of the 9/11 situation, who made sure that, kids were getting picked up safely. They were also, they were sheltered in at their schools. They had to make sure that staff was taken care of, and everyone, was kept calm and remained calm. They also helped in the recovery effort down, at the World Trade Center site. And that counterterrorism is very, is very interesting, because when you have those different levels of threats, and, you have to know what are the appropriate actions that need to be taken. And that's a training that school safety also gets that people are not aware of. So God forbid, if, we do experience another terrorist attack, look at the culture of what's going on today in Afghanistan. You don't know. And that training is very, very, very much needed by, the school community, and everybody else in the school community does not have that training. Not even the building response team, but school safety does have that training. Also, there's an apprenticeship with the Department of Labor where you can enroll in. So, after 2 years of service with no incidents, no type of infractions, you can receive a certification in law enforcement from the Department of Labor. You can now take that certification anywhere in the country and utilize it, to say that, you're certified as a certified law enforcement peace officer at what you do. And there's a lot of things that people, they just don't really know about the training that is being given to school safety. Because when you're given that training, you're also getting that training. It's law, police science, behavioral science. There's a physical aspect that he spoke about, to make sure that you're physically fit to respond to said incidents. Because if you're running or you have to, carry someone, you still have to be able to physically call over the radio. Still, don't be breathless. So that physical aspect is definitely needed. And there's also, college credits that you receive for your training. You receive up to 26 college credits, and I can break them down because, they're basically, you're getting 15 semester hours for the college credits for the law and the science part, the police science. You're getting, 5 semester college credits for your physical education, and you're getting 6 college credits for your law and police science training as well, due to criminal justice, to go toward a degree, from accreditation to a school that you can transfer it to.
Wait a minute. So the training that you do with the police academy to become a school safety agent, that training can actually be applied towards a college degree.
Correct.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I did not know that.
Yes. Yes, it is. And a lot of agents on the job don't know this. So I'm making, this information for the agents who are here who are not aware of it. Also, for the agents who are, seeking to come on, they'll also be aware of it. And Mona's going to put up something later, that comes to the union, because anyone who's seeking to get a degree, the union offers tuition assistance up until.
Yes, actually, let's put up the slide of the union the union program, the tuition reimbursement program, page 1 and page 2 for the college credits. So as you can see here, and this is on the union's website, pull237.org. But as you can see, the higher education in just 4 steps, where it breaks down how to apply and submit. And then there's also the other page, page 2, if we could see that. You know, and this is the part. It's for union members and their families. I mean, think about it. Not just the parents, but their family members, their children. This is a really great benefit, in addition to all of the other benefits. And I'd like Ms. Simpkins and Mr. Wise to talk about the benefits that come with this great career opportunity.
Harold, I'll let you go.
All right. Well, you know, we have our dental, eye coverage, and that's very important. You know, you always have to take care of yourself. You have to, like I tell people all the time, you go to work, but you have to make sure you're good, because if you're not healthy, you can't help your coworkers, you can't help anyone else. So our union gives us very good medical coverage, and especially I know our eye and our dental plans are very good also. It's better than a lot of the other coverages out there for sure. But go ahead, Mona. I mean, Simpkins.
Yes, for our local 237 members, which are our level 1s, also our level 3s, group leaders, or as we would call them, level 3s, whatever they should be called sergeants. Well, basically, the union, which is local 237, covers your optical and your dental coverage. You are allotted a pair of eyeglasses once a year, you and your people who are dependent on your list. And your dental is basically free. You don't pay any out-of-pocket costs for dental procedures and things that you need of that nature, as long as you go to a dentist that's approved by the union, which is our union is billed through HealthFlex. So HealthFlex is our provider for our dental coverage. Those things you get 100% covered by the union. A lot of people may not be aware, but it is. And every year you are entitled to a pair of eyeglasses, you and your dependents, and you are entitled to any type of dental coverages as long as you're a HealthFlex provider from the union. That's what I wanted to talk about. Some of the benefits are, you know, on this job, you get paid medical and, you know, paid night shift differential. And for people that don't know what night shift differential is, that's when you go over 6 p.m. in the evening up until 6 a.m. in the morning. It's considered night shift differential. I'm not exactly sure what the conversion is on that differential for the dollar amount, but I do know it's slightly higher amount than you would get for the regular day concessions. And I can also say that there is a differential increase from a level 1 to a level 3. I don't know exactly what that increment is, but I can get it out and I can post it at a later date. You know, there's overtime opportunities when they're available, as well as we have a 457 or a 401k savings Roth plan that you can enroll in. And anyone coming in now, well, I'm tier 4 because I came in, you know, years prior, but anyone that will be coming in now will be tier 6. And that's on the SPO 25 pension plan from NYSERS, which is the New York City Employees Retirement System. That, you know, that's our pension plan, our pension plan. And those are basically the benefits that you can get from this job. But there are also other benefits that, you know, it would take me all night to explain that you can get, but, you know, you have to somebody sit down and actually tell you what they are. But if you come on this job and you network and you get around with other people, you will find out what those benefits are that you are awarded from this job. Also, you can apply for grants from the NYPD for educational grants as well, because you are a member of the NYPD. And you usually more than likely get those educational grants if you apply for them in a timely manner and you know where to find them at. So those are some of the benefits that you get from this job.
I have a question, somewhat related. So we just had that, I don't know, what was the concert called? Open NYC concert? Whatever, NYC Open concert. Okay. The people checking, doing security for this Open NYC concert were school safety agents.
Dun, 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 dun. School safety to the rescue.
Please explain to me, New York City, the people in charge of security and checking everyone, the 30,000 people that came to that concert. When was it? Saturday night? Saturday?
Yes, Saturday.
Yeah. Were checked by school safety agents, because I saw the pictures in the in the news coverage, and I said to myself, but that's school safety. So please explain to me, how is school safety there at checking people, doing security at a concert?
I'll let Harold take that, and then I'll back him up.
Okay. How can I put this politely? Well, I'm just going to be, yes. School safety, they know that we do our thing. They know we are the best when it comes to scanning and things of that nature. So we come in and we're Captain Save the Day. I'll put it that way. We're there to help. We're there to assist, because they know that we're experts in what we're doing. So what they would consider that is a special detail. It wouldn't be like a regular school safety detail or a regular school safety overtime. They consider that a special detail because it's outside of the school. It's something to help the city. They knew they needed the experts to come in and help them run things. And the agents went in and ran everything, and they did their jobs. They went in, they had the scanners, they had the hand wands. They made sure everybody was doing what they had to do. And they went in and shut everything down and made sure everything went smoothly. So that's how I saw it. Go, Ms. Simpkins.
All right, to back up my partner in crime right there, let me just break it down to put it lightly. School safety is basically, you have the military, you have the fully enlisted officers, and then you have the reserves. School safety, we are the reserves for the NYPD. It is what it is, and police officers, not taking away from what they do, but they don't scan. That's not something that they that's not their expertise. School safety, we scan every single day in the high schools, every single day in the scanning facility. We are scanning. This is what we do. And we're scanning at a large volume, because most high schools have 3,000, 5,000. Some have 7,000, 8,000 kids, or 8,000 people plus staff and visitors. So we're scanning everybody. So that's a large scale of scanning. So if you get a team of school safety agents like they had at this event, you're going to get thousands of people. Who else would you call in to scan them besides the TSA? But the TSA is not going to leave the airport. So who's the best in the industry that NYPD has a scanning? Boom, school safety. So that's why we were there. Same thing, like I always tell people, we are a part of the public safety apparatus just for that reason, because when we're needed, they have to put us into incorporation. Every single day, look at what happened last year during the pandemic. Where were we? In the public. We were out there giving out face masks, giving out sanitizer, giving out information, giving out, everything that school safety does on a regular basis while we're in our buildings. We took it to the street and we mastered what it had to be done. It's the same thing with the marathon, same thing with the PSAO games at the Garden, the same thing with any open air concert where they're expecting a large volume of people. Who do you call? They call school safety, because they know school safety are the scanning experts, highly effective at what we do. And we know how to do effectively to give the people what the department always talks about: courtesy, professionalism, and respect. We do that effectively because we're used to dealing with community on an everyday basis. So it's common for us. So that's why we were there, Mona.
So one of our viewers, Anthony Richardson, says in the comment, as you can see, school safety also does the NYC Marathon and New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
So these are all considered out of detail extra work.
Yes.
It's considered a special assignment, special detail. That means it's something that you wouldn't do every single day. It's not part of your everyday, activity. It's not part of your everyday things that you would do on your regular checklist. So, but it's something that you are certified and qualified to do. So it's a special assignment. And then you take that special assignment, i.e. the city comeback concert, safety was there.
Okay, that's very, very interesting. So There are so many benefits to this position. I especially like you know, the tuition program for school safety agents and for their families. Can you break down vacation and sick days for someone that's just starting as a school safety agent?
However you want to take that.
I'll let you get that one.
I'm not a payroll timekeeper, but I did consult my payroll timekeeper and a few other people that I know do the time accruals. And it's like you get a day of sick and like 10 hours of vacation per month, and it accrues in a time bank. And the agents have different amounts of time there. It's a different increments between 1 year to 5 years, and then from 5 years to 10 years, and then from 10 years to 15. Like every 5 years, there's different. After 15 years, you get a longevity pay, which is a stipend for people that got 15 years and more. So the time accrual varies. It varies, and no one's person's time bank is the same to someone else's. It depends on the time that you need to take off for certain situations. So it changes at your 5-year mark. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know that it progresses and it gets bigger as you go on with your years on the job.
And what also helps with school safety is when you do your overtime, you could put it in cash or you could put it in time. So you have some people that just
I'll take cash.
No, but some people put everything in time. So, right. So she may have like where she could take off for the 4 or 5 months straight and never have to worry. And then you have a person like myself that I come to work like it was a time where I only was out once sick in 3 years. So you have occurred so much time that I could be out almost a year and I would still have sick time. So that's part of it also with school safety, how different people choose to maneuver and use their overtime and things like that to benefit themselves. Because some people may need the cash, but some people just feel, all right, I'm all right with the cash. I'm married. I have a spouse helping in the house. So I could put this into time. So if we want to go away on vacation, I have enough time that I could go away like every few months and never have to worry. So that's one of the benefits also in school safety.
But there's also a cap on that time. You can't have just go 500, 600 hours. Once you get to a certain amount of time, I believe it's 245 hours, they now convert that time into cash anyway. So
right.
So they're not going to let you have over excess of time.
Right. I know people, they actually may take vacation. Like you have to get rid of some of this time because you have a little too much. So they have to go and they have to do what they have to do, make a week away, and they made their vacation like that.
We're just giving you the gist of what we know. We're not giving you precise and concise. Like I just said, we're not payroll timekeepers, but I did consult them on some of these payroll questions that you threw at me because I didn't want to come in here and be completely, out of the loop. But with that time accrual, school safety does have a little bit more leniency and leeway than the average person, even, when it pertains to police officers, even as it pertains to the DOE staff, because, they have set play times where they have to take their vacations or, they certain times off where they can't take it. But, school safety can actually ask for vacation throughout the whole entire year if you have the time and they have enough people to cover you while you're on vacation.
Right.
So I have another question. What happens in the summer? Like, when schools are closed, how does school safety work? How is the schedule in the summer with so many schools closed? What happened?
Go ahead, Harold.
Well, in the summer, schools are actually still open. It's not as busy as during the regular year, but schools, it seems like schools are open 365 nowadays. So you have more people that take their summer vacations, that take their time off during the summer, but you also have a lot of schools that have to still be covered during that time. So you have summer school, you have after school programs still going on. You have summer camps that's still going on. So they still need coverage within the schools during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you have more people, and what they'll do, they'll take a roster, and the supervisor and the XOs and everybody, they'll figure out, all right, how many people do I need in this school? How many people do I need here? Everybody will get together, they'll figure it out, and then people will take their vacation along that pattern. They'll figure it out. Maybe you'll take 2 weeks this month, and maybe a week the next month, and that's how you get that vacation during the summer.
Okay. So now I want to just circle back to the civil service exam. What is on this exam? Like, what type of questions? What can applicants expect to see on that exam? Do you have any, pointers for people, advice when taking the civil service exam to become a school safety agent? Can you guys go over, give us a little bit more information about this exam?
The funniest thing is, I think Simpkins will work this one better because I've been on the job so long. I didn't have that exam that they have now.
Okay, so before I get to that, let me kind of backtrack a little bit. I'm going to jump right into that question, Mona. So when the summertime comes, usually what happens is you have a bunch of schools in the community, and pre-COVID, every school was not functioning on the summer scale. So what happened was they would break those schools down, and it would usually be one central school in the area that would have all those kids that had to go to summer school put into that building with that teaching staff, that school's administration, and it would all go to one building. All the agents would then be assigned to that building. So that's how they can do the summer pool for summer vacation, because everybody's together all inclusively. They would rotate the vacation schedules. This is pre-COVID. And, that's how that would usually run. And everybody would usually be in those particular schools that were the whole school for the summer. And you would have the summer camp there that was going. You would have summer schools, and plus all the staff, plus the school safety agents would be into a breakdown. Because usually in the summertime is when they do most of the work in the buildings. But, that was pre-COVID. Due to COVID, everybody's school's open now. With the school being out for so long, and now they have some revising. Just about every school was open from 8 to 6. The whole city basically. So it's kind of was hard for people to take vacation, and we got limited to 2 weeks of vacation because they didn't know what to do with people because there was they're so strained due to the attrition, the resignation, and retirement. So we don't have a lot of agents, and it was really rough. It's been really rough, and I'm going to just put it out there. This is what's going to happen come September. It's going to be even more difficult than what we have now. So that's why we're doing this forum, to get people to try to be engaged, to come out here to try to make up some of these numbers, because we are really depleted. The deficit is bad. So that's how that summer breakdown usually went, Mona. And it usually went according to the roster, and it usually went according to seniority. Whoever has more years got first pick for whatever they wanted, and that's just basically how it will be broken down amongst the higher ups and the bosses. Now, to answer your question, the test itself, I also did not take this exam. I came before the test. The test came in 2008, and I was grandfathered in like everybody else. But I do know that there's practice tests online. You can type in NYPD School Safety, exam, and it gives you you can get a mock test of it. Same thing with the NYPD police officer test. You can get a mock test. I did glance at it and I did peek at it. Most of it is common sense questions. Most of it is memorization skills. Most of it is just, perception. So they will have put up 4 tires, and they'll ask you out of these 4 tires, which tire has a different, marking or a different whatever. It's and then there's the scenarios where they'll have a photo, and you look at the photo, and there's things going on in the photo, and they have you look at it for a time frame, and there's things going on. There's people in a gym, and there's a time clock on the wall, and the time is showed on the wall, and then there's things happening. So then they'll have a certain questions, and they'll ask you, in this model, what time was on the clock, and or what was this person in the group that had the red shirt? What were they doing? But you know why they do that? Because when you're in school, in a school safety, and you're in an incident and something's going on. Mm-hmm. I would say this: school safety looks at things differently than the average person in the school system. Teachers, staff, custodians, cafeteria people, even people with street smart, you're always on high alert. But school safety's training, we look at things differently. When we walk into a room, we're looking differently at what is in the room. We see the things that most people won't recognize. That's why a lot of school safety agents, they're certified in crime analysis because they can walk into your building like Harold and he'll tell you what you need as far as cameras, as far as, proper door coverages and different things that are needed because we look at things from a different scope. So that test is all about memorization, perception, and just plain common sense.
Okay.
And let me jump on what she was just saying, like with the crime analysis. We get trained. You go in for a course for that, and on that course, a lot of POs, a lot of uniform officers fight to get that training, because when you retire from the job, you could take that and people will hire you to analyze their business and tell them what they need and what they could do to make their place more secure. Like, I'm certified. I could go in and tell a person how to lock down their building and make sure crime or nothing is going on, make sure the doors are correct, make sure the windows are correct. So we get, like I said, specific training that uniform members also get. So it helps you down the road also.
We have field intelligence agents who are certified in FIOs, field intelligence officers who, they gather information, they collect information, they have a data bank of information. So, when you start to collect this information, you are able to put things together and you can see where hot spots are, where trouble spots are, and where, incidents and things are happening in the same place in a pattern. So, there's a lot of qualifications and certifications and trainings that school safety is, endowed with, but people just don't know because they don't know. They don't really come in to find out what school safety is. They just see people in a blue uniform walking around the school, and they don't know what these people, my people, are qualified and certified to do. Because I'm going to say this, and like I said, I don't talk against anyone. Everybody who does a job, your job is important, and you have a place and a purpose. But the training that school safety gets is 17 weeks in the academy. So let's start looking at some of these, other law enforcement trainings that they get. We know the police officers do 6 months. We know that. Corrections, they only have 8 weeks worth of training. 8 weeks compared to 17 weeks of school safety. And I will always say this because a wise man once said that school safety runs Rikers Island because, school safety agents, a lot of us who come into the job that don't have, college degrees, the college credits or whatever the case may be, what have you, that 2-year certification of being here and having that law enforcement apprenticeship, you can go to corrections. Corrections will take you. Oh. And with that 17 weeks of training, that's all kinds of training that they don't even have. School safety agents go into corrections, into Rikers, and they make the best COs because we know how to deal with the public. We know how to deal with people in crisis. We know how to deal with all of these things that we're bringing things to that table that is corrections, and people will not tell you this, but I will tell you this. School safety is running Rikers Island. It is.
And to go back to like even the AED training and the CPR training, that's very important because inside the schools and outside the schools on the perimeter, you have to be alert of things that's going on. I worked in a school a few years ago where there was a domestic issue, and a male attacked his girlfriend and the baby, and we had to respond to a woman that was stabbed multiple times and the baby was cut. So we had to give the child triage and the mother triage, and we saved the lady's life. So you learn the CPR, you learn how to give mouth to mouth, you learn how to patch people up until EMS gets there so they can get to the hospital. These are things that we are taught, and it's very important. And like Simpkins said, a lot of people really don't understand. They think you just sit at a front desk and wave people in and look at your phone and chew gum. Like, we have a lot that we do. We're certified to do a lot of different things. But I'm even going to come at it a little different than Simpkins. I feel anybody that comes into school safety, you should really like kids. You should like helping and working with the kids. That's why I'm there. I used to work on Wall Street. I wanted to do something completely different after 9/11. I went in, and the first school I went in was a District 75 school. And that school was, when I say it was off the chain, it was up in the Bronx on Boston Road. It's called 186. And when I said my first day I walked into school, I saw a kid run across the hall, across the cafeteria, jump on the table, and start humping the table. And I was like, what the hell did I get myself into? But as I went along and I saw like what was the different issues and the different needs of different kids, I grew to understand like a lot of these kids are super great kids. They just need guidance. They need people that will show them that they care. And like I told you many times before, even the parents come in and they embrace school safety like we're part of the family, because you see their kids every single day. So when their kid is having issues, a lot of times those kids aren't going to the guidance counselors or the deans or anybody. Like, they go directly to Miss Simpkins or Mr. Wise because they relate to us. They see us in the hood. I go out my house and I go to the store and I see a lot of kids that I see in the schools, and they were like, wow, you have on Jordans. I'm like, okay. Like, we have regular clothes also. We don't always wear the uniform. So you gain this relationship with these kids. So my thing is, when you go in, make sure you're going into something that you can embrace. So I tell everybody, embrace these kids, because there's some great kids out here, and a lot of them just need that guidance, and they need someone to show them that they care about them. So that's a great part of this job, that you can help guide. I've had kids that were in school with me that's now school safety, that's now regular POs. I know kids now that are firemen, nurses, and when they first got into school, some of them were little baddies, but you showed them like, I care about you. You don't got to be a knucklehead. You don't got to follow the nonsense. Do what you have to do. And when they graduated, I had one kid that would not go to graduation unless I went with him, unless I went to his graduation. So you definitely affect a lot of kids. So if this is the job for you that you want, understand you're helping to mold a generation and helping to guide kids. And to me, that's important.
100%. I agree. Can't say it no better. But Mona, what I wanted to say was I have two stories. So the first one is Lily Love, who's an agent who used to be in my patrol borough. She had inboxed me. We had a back and forth about a situation last week where she was waiting. She's not retired. She was waiting to go to her doctor's appointment when she saw a kid shoot past her car. And she said it was kind of alarming to her. Like, where's this kid going? So she got out, ran behind the snap and snatched the kid and was like, where you going? And she realized that, there was something odd about the kid. So let's find out what the oddness was. The child was autistic. So it became try to figure out what's going on. What she did was she used her school safety brain, called 911, got patrol there, and they found out that there was a parent who called and said that her child escaped and got out of the house. So now, due to her calling and making that call and holding on to that child, they were able to now reunite that child with that parent. Once again, school safety does not leave you when you leave this job. Now, also, I have another story, and I know she's watching because she's on here. I see her. So SSS Gamble, which is one of my supervisors, we have talks very quite often, and she expressed to me that, the desire to want to become a school safety agent was because she was mentored by her school safety agent, who was a person who was very, intricate in her life and pushing her and, making sure that she got something out of life, and basically was like, listen, they're hiring, get your butt down there and go get this job. And that was the influence that she needed to become a school safety agent, and when she came to this job, she loved it. She's here. I love her. She's one of my favorite people. She's so down to earth. And I'm shouting out that school safety agent who paved the way for her and pulled her in. So, you know, we do have a lot of emphasis on these children's lives. Like Harold said, we do. And, you know, they can say whatever they want. And they can put the children that they handpicked to put up here and say negative things about us. But we know the general consensus of most children, they don't have a problem with us. Not at all. Not at all. So I was, like you said, I want to just back up that point. You have to have a passion for children. You have to. You have to have a need to want to help children. You have to have a need, because your job is children. Your whole job is centered around the children. That's the difference between a school safety agent versus a police officer, because you're geared toward that school community, and that school population are those children. And I wanted to say, when you're in that academy, you know, you will be getting training from the DOE staff because they are also on hand. But what I was suggesting, and if anybody from the academy is watching and they're listening, is that you get a group of children who can be incorporated into that academy, you know, whole process. And, you know, the agents can hear the perspective from the children of what children feel about school safety, or what children think, or what they believe, you know, school safety brings to the table, or how they feel about their interactions with school safety. That right there would bring a whole nother level of understanding from the gate of what this job is. Because, you know, a lot of agents get the job. Yes, it's a law enforcement job. That's the basis. But you have to understand that your job, law enforcement aspect, that's secondary. That comes with protecting those children. But your job is geared and centered around making sure that these children have a safe learning environment.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Simpkins. Thank you, Mr. Wise, for taking the time out this evening to talk with us and to share more information about this great opportunity of being a school safety agent. I've been getting messages throughout this workshop, and it's funny, but one of them comes from a friend of mine who actually is who's a doctor, PhD. Well, sorry, ED. ED in education, degree in education, doctorate in education. And, she texted me that, these benefits are better than educator benefits. So it is, it's, this really and truly indeed is a great career opportunity. With the tuition assistance, with the benefits for, family members, with the 457 plan, with the 401k plan, with the vacation, the sick days, and also the fact that your training that you're going to undergo can also be applied towards a college degree. So, jobs like this, careers like this, we don't have careers like this anymore. And, the one thing I will say that unlike many other careers, to be a school safety agent, indeed, you do have to care about the children, because your main job is to protect our children. So I just want to thank you, Mr. Wise, Ms. Simpkins, for all that you're doing. I want to thank all of our school safety agents out there who protect our children every day unarmed. I know September is going to be crazy. The rest of the year is going to be crazy. I want to say in advance, thank you for all that you are about to do, because the situation in our communities, the gun violence pandemic, we are under siege. Whatever is happening in the streets will spill over into the schools. All those teenagers being caught with guns, you know where they're going to be once schools open. So I just want to say, as a parent, thank you so very much for everything that you do. I also want to say, as a parent, thank you to all our school safety agents for being patient with us parents, because I know we got some crazy parents out there. But for our viewers and for everyone, please share this information. The application deadline is tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. You can go on nypdrecruit.com. When you get onto that page, click school safety, and you can start the application process. Again, we have a shortage of school safety agents. We need more school safety agents. Even before the shortage, we needed more. Now, due to attrition, due to the delay in the class that was supposed to start a few months ago, it's now a severe shortage. But this is a great career opportunity. Being a school safety agent opens up the doors to other careers in law enforcement. So, I would definitely encourage folks to definitely apply. And again, the application deadline is tomorrow, 11:59. Go to nypdrecruit.com, click on school safety, and apply, and share this information with friends, relatives, and family members. And again, Ms.
Mona,
Simmons,
before you go, I want to
yes.
say thank you to Harold, my partner in crime, for always being there. Every time, no questions asked to show up. He comes, no matter where you say he's there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't thank him enough. Charlene Singleton, who's not, she's not a very vocal person, but thank you to her. God bless her for being my sister, holding it down, getting the information out. Nicholas Polanco, Anthony Richardson for always being a listening ear and keeping me grounded. For Jessica Wallace, the GOAT of all, the greatest of all times in school safety, for just being a mentor to me and just giving me guidance on what the situation is. I also would like to thank Terrence Elmo, who hates to get on anything and speak, but that is Ike, and he's always putting these things.
We're gonna get Elmo on. Don't worry.
Yeah, he puts together these.
I know he's watching.
He helps to put together these interviews with these different shows. Shout out to him, and certainly, last but not least, shout out to my sister Mona, who answered the call when we called and came through with the quickness, with her cape on, ready to fight, like no questions asked. You are always there, Mona. I appreciate you from the heart. Also to, Don Hugh and the Asian Alliance, to Kakagni, to Sadio Berry and the Senegalese Alliance, to all of these groups, Maud Marin, to everybody who's in support of school safety, who comes out to the rallies, who came out to the rallies, who came to the forums, people who spoke. I forgot the gentleman from the Post, who's always Mr. Benjamin, who's always coming and he's always, supportive. Anybody who's had any type of hand in this fight is just beginning. It is not over. And I'm appreciative of everybody at the coalition. I'm also in the middle of the coalition. And you know what? I just want to let the school safety agents know, my brothers and sisters in light blue, that the fight is on and it's not going to stop.
No, that's right. You don't start nothing, there be nothing. You start something, there be something. So the fight is on. But again, Mr. Wise, Ms. Simpkins, thank you so very much. Folks, nypdrecruit.com, click on school safety, apply. So with that said, thank you again, everyone, for joining us this evening. Please be safe and be well. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.